To book your team or to learn more about baseline concussion testing, please visit acpottawa.ca and visit one of our 5 locations in the city of Ottawa.
All right, welcome back to the OVFL podcast. I'm joined now by my personal trainer back home in London, Ontario, Mr. Steve Hendriksen of Powerhouse London. He's joining us here today. He's going to give us some truths about speed training and power training and some of the myths and some of the misconceptions people have with it. Welcome to the show, Steve.
Thanks for having me.
So if you want to jump right into it, what's the first thing you'd want to tell athletes when they're regarding speed and power training?
All right, so first of all, the main big mistake that I often see athletes making is turning every sprint-based session into conditioning work. So in order to improve speed and power qualities, every rep you perform must be at or very close to your max capabilities, which will require complete rest between reps. So a general rule of thumb for improving speed and power is to keep every rep at 95% or greater than the best that you're capable of. And as far as rest is concerned, I follow a guideline of about 1 minute of rest for every 10 meters of sprint work. So, for example, a 40-yard sprint, this would be around 3 to 4 minutes of rest, and this will largely depend on the level of athlete. So, elite-level athletes may need even longer than that.
And am I correct in saying, like, trying to turn your speed training work into more conditioning, that's just putting yourself at more risk for injury, right? Like, if you're got sensitive hamstrings,
So trying to perform at a high level while limiting your rest will increase the chances of injury. So,
all right.
The one thing athletes looking to get faster need to do is learn the difference between training at 100% intensity and training at 100% effort.
Okay.
So 100% intensity would be like what I just described, and that you're performing at or very close to the max that you're capable of.
Okay.
100% effort would simply be trying as hard as you can at whatever sprint work you're doing.
So
as an example, like if you're being timed on multiple 300-yard shuttles with short recovery in between, you'll likely be giving 100% effort so you can get a good time, but this won't be anywhere close to 100% intensity, and therefore it's not going to help you improve your speed.
Okay. So it's kind of the old work hard versus work smart sort of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well, it's still working hard. It's just working hard in an appropriate way that will allow you to accomplish your goals.
Absolutely. Does this rest thing, does that carry over into the weight room as well? Like when you're talking about squatting and benching and stuff like that, is that whole like taking longer rest to work on power similar, or?
To give a comparison of like different styles of sprint training, then hopefully this will kind of illustrate what I'm trying to get across. So I just have like 2 example workouts. So workout 1 would be more in line with like a speed session that I'd have the athletes perform, and then that would consist of 5 40-yard sprints with 4 minutes of recovery between reps. And workout 2 would be more in line with what I commonly see like athletes doing or coaches doing. That might consist of something like 15 40-yard sprints with a minute of rest between reps. So.
Okay.
In workout 1, you're getting complete recovery between reps. And that should allow you to stay between 95 and 100% of your best time. So you'll wind up, so if you're running 40-yard distances, you'll wind up with total yardage, 200 yards of good speed work. Whereas in workout 2, you might be able to stay above 95% for like 2 or maybe 3 of the reps because of the incomplete recoveries. So by the time the workout's all done, you end up with 80 to 120 yards of actual speed work. And then what you're left with is just like an extra like 400 to 500 yards of sprint volume that's not going to help improve your speed qualities. It'll increase your chance of injury, and it'll significantly add to the recovery demands from the workout.
And you might feel like you worked a little harder doing that second workout, right? So a lot of kids might feel like, oh, well, I ran all these yards and I felt like I was giving it my all, but in reality, you shouldn't be like you're not going to get the same benefits from it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I was just going to say. Like,
yeah.
In workout 1, every rep is performed with purpose and at the proper intensity to help you achieve the goal of running faster. While workout 2 will have a limited effect, if any, in helping you achieve this goal. And most athletes and coaches would look at workout 2 and see that more work is being done and it'll be perceived as a harder workout, so they'll think it's better. But when it comes to improving speed and power, just because some is good, it doesn't mean that more is better, and oftentimes more will lead to problems instead of improved performance.
Okay. I guess another question, might be putting you on the spot here. Do you think that So like an O lineman, D lineman, those sort of guys, and mixed guys, so running backs, linebackers with a little more weight should be training for speed a lot different than a receiver DB, or is it just maybe volume should be decreased and increased depending on the athleticism?
So when it comes to that, I basically just like I fluctuate the volume based on position and or positional demand. So like generally linemen would be less less distance per sprint and less total volume per session than like a linebacker, running back, which would be less than like a defensive back or a wide receiver. And then quarterbacks just kind of depend on the offense.
Fair enough. Yeah, some of them don't need to run too much. Some of them need to get those feet running. All right. And then in the gym, would you say should they be doing the same though? Then if a O lineman or a D lineman is running less on the field, should they be trying to lift more or do more reps or more power, or should they stay similar in the gym?
So the general way that I look at it, linemen need to have a bit more of a focus on max strength than like a wide receiver would, where speed is going to be a more dominant quality. So so like the focus definitely changes. And then so like when I have guys sprinting in the gym, like I'm limited on space, so it's always short sprints. But if I have them lifting after, I always have like my total volume of sprinting is going to be a little bit less than if we're performing it outside, and it's just like a speed-based session, no lifting after.
So it's important for guys to realize you can't be doing 10 40-yard sprints if you're going to squat after. But if you're just running, you can maybe up the level of the volume of sprints, right? That's kind of the gist here.
In general, like your body can only handle and adapt to so much of a stimulus. So generally, if you add something in, something else needs to be either taken out or done at a lower intensity.
All right. And last thing I want to touch on here, can you kind of point to the importance of like the stretching, maybe the yoga or anything like that for our young guys? 'Cause I mean, a lot of guys, I know myself personally, it didn't really get driven into me deep enough until I kind of got to university and had some hamstring problems. I mean, I had them all through high school, but it didn't really get into me until my trainer yelled at me for a whole year. So, I mean, can you just quickly talk about how important it is for guys to really be stretching, really be paying attention to their health?
Yeah, the main thing, performing proper mobility work. Like, I personally don't have much experience or any experience for that matter with yoga, but doing something to make sure that you're flexible enough to achieve the positions that you'll be in when you're sprinting, because sprinting is one of the fastest muscle actions that your body will ever encounter. So if your body's not able to get in those positions properly, that's when you wind up with like hamstring pulls and injuries like that. So yeah, always making sure that you keep an eye on flexibility and mobility. Anytime you do a speed-based session, you always want to make sure you're doing a good dynamic warm-up. So like my warm-ups generally take like 20 to 30 minutes when it's a speed-based session. That's just making sure that the body's properly warmed up, like you're able to get proper range of motion and all the joints that are important for sprinting. So
last thing I want to say with that, is it general rule of thumb that on a strictly speed day, your warm-up should actually normally be longer than your runs, right? I'm pretty sure I've heard you say that to me multiple times. Is that right for everyone listening?
Yeah, again, that kind of depends. So like on a speed day when we're out on like a field or a track or something, the warm-up will probably take close to like 30 minutes. That'll include some like build-up sprints and light accelerations or like a shorter distance accelerations and stuff like that. And then the actual sprint part itself won't be like, it'll probably be around like half an hour for my football guys, but then I generally also add in stuff like jumps and med ball throws and stuff like that, just to kind of complete like the workout. So.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Steve, thank you so much. We're happy to have you here on the first OVFL podcast we got. I'm sure as the off season comes along, we're going to have more questions for you, and we're probably going to try to get you back on here if you're willing and able. Thank you so much. So everyone, this is Steve Hendriksen from Powerhouse London. If you're a London listener, if you play Junior Mustangs or anything, the OFC, anything like that, I implore you to give them a try. You can find them on Powerhouse London on Facebook. And yeah, thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.
All right, well, have fun training the guys today. If you see anybody I know, let them know I say hi.
Sounds good.
All right, have a good one, Steve.